I have an update on the little Gendome Go 300 after charging overnight. The news isn't entirely all good, but first let's do a quick post-mortem after Cyber Monday, and it's now Tuesday. So the Bluetti that was $395 is back to $800. Oops, sorry, I don't know if I was pointing at that. And the Go 300, which we just looked at, is now 140, up from 108. And then the Anchor 548 Lantern, that was 80, and we're up to 115. So it seems like those were some pretty good deals. Now the question is, how good a deal is this thing? Already I had a question about this tiny adapter, and what happened last night proved that that really is kind of a concern depending on how you plan to use this thing. So when I got up this morning, you might remember yesterday when it came out of the box, it was, I forget, 40% or something. I left it running all night with everything turned off except for the Wi-Fi router and the modem behind there and that smart speaker, which it said was drawing like a total of like 30 or something. I think the Bluetti had it more like 40, but whatever. But if you think about it, so this adapter is supposedly rated at 65 watts, and the input here is showing as around 60, so I guess there's some losses. But yeah, so if you think about it, putting out 30 watts overnight while it was trying to charge, and then taking in 60, it only had 30 watts left to charge. And then when I got up, I turned all the stuff on, and after, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 hours, I heard the whole thing switch off because, well, 130 or 40 watts with only the 60 watts coming in there. Eventually it just drained the battery, even though it was charging. So, and also this thing got really hot. This stayed cool. It's interesting, it has an intake fan here. It seems to have a separate fan there and an output fan here, and it never really, that didn't get too hot, but that little adapter got very hot. So, is that a big deal if you're kind of using it as a UPS or just an emergency backup? Maybe not, because when you need to charge it, you can just take your time. That's probably good for the battery. Or you can use, if you have a bigger power brick or solar. So I know specifications are boring, but there are a couple things here. So the solar charging input is up to 200 watts, and I have two 100-watt panels on order, so that should be just right, and that should charge a lot faster. USB-C charging input, notice that can be 140 watts max. We'll see here in a minute in the app that it appears they can take power from a panel and from AC at the same time. I'm not sure what the total allowed there is. Only other thing while we're looking at these boring specs is someone asked about pure sine wave, and it does claim to output pure sine wave, total of 300 watts. Okay, so as far as the display goes, is there anything else interesting? I did read through the manual. The manual's well written and short. I was impressed with that. And this is kind of obvious, but when it's charging, the display on the left of time is how long until it's fully charged. And when it's discharging, oh, and by the way, you'll see that there's 3 watts output now. I temporarily hooked up this small IKEA LED light since I can't really plug my full power strip of stuff into this. So I guess let's just unplug this, and I'll leave it on the display here. So did that change? I don't know that changed. I think it's supposed to be remaining hours that it can power the device when there's no AC hooked up. And remember, this AC here just means that the AC inverter is turned on. So, okay, let me plug it back in. Man, that thing is warm. Did the remaining time change? Oh, okay, it did. So yeah, so it would be almost 6 hours to charge with this 3-watt load starting from 10%. Okay, let's take a look at the app.